We're going back to the inbox because number one, what he's trying to do is piss me off, and we don't want me pissed off.
No, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to do that.
But anyway, I remember following him on Instagram and liking a couple of his stories, and then that's when he hit me with the hey. I can actually go to the messages.
Yeah, we can read some of the messages.
No, we can go to the messages.
Go to the messages.
And I see what you said at the beginning.
I know I said hey. I started the conversation off with hey. Because for real, I was borderline, I'm not going to say nervous. I ain't scared or nothing. But I just was like, I really just wanted to make sure. Because
once we, like I said, once we got into each other's, like, once we got to the part of messaging each other, it was more so of trying to fill each other out. He was still trying to figure out who exactly I was. Meanwhile, I was trying to figure out if he was single or not. So it was like how the conversation was going was like
her asking about me,
right,
and me really asking about her.
Right. Until I came out and told him as far as me and that guy not being together anymore. So then it actually, I guess, kind of became 2 and 2 to where we kind of just was sharing our
experiences,
our experiences of what happened
in our last relationships.
Right. And because of the fact the conversation was like night and day, it was like we literally was talking all day to where I have a bedtime.
I was keeping her up past her bedtime.
I'm in the bed by 8 o'clock. I'm asleep by 8:10. So for us to continue having a conversation back and forth, this is before numbers was exchanged or anything. For us to continue having the conversations back and forth, it was just like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, like, maybe it was more than just looking at each other. Maybe we was actually interested in each other. That's my thought process. Because just how the conversation was just flowing, it was like we kind of been talking or knowing each other for a long time. So eventually, I think it got to the point to where he's like, if you want, here's my number if you want to use it, or if you want to use it or something like that, he said.
Yeah, I was being cocky. I said, here's my number. If you want to continue our conversation, you can call me. We could talk on the phone. So she ended up calling me, and
at first I wasn't going to. I was like, I wasn't going to call him on the first day. I'm like, I'm gonna just wait a little bit.
That first day, we probably got off the phone. We didn't get off the phone until like 11:30, and she was like, "Oh, you know, I gotta get up early. I drive like an hour to work," and she was like, usually my bedtime is at 8. And I was like, oh, I kept you up past your bedtime. And she was like, yeah, you have for these last couple of days. And then I was like, all right, boom, got off the phone with her and continued to play the game. I think I was playing the game when I was talking to her anyway. I ain't had no bedtime. Like, I was a straight Viking. So it didn't really matter to me. So once we had a lot of verbal conversations throughout the phone, you know, while I'm working, she's talking to me. I'm working while she's working. I'm talking to her. You know, we just having our undivided attention between the two of us. Like I said, I still went back and had an additional conversation with one of my homeboys, and he was like, "Bruh, you already know how the team be. You already know what happened with you and the other guy when his girl was trying to holler at you, and you know how that went, and da-da-da." He was like, "Bro, just leave it alone, just leave it alone." And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna leave it alone, So, I don't know, it was something in my stomach that was telling me not to, though.
Because he never missed a beat with me.
Yeah, it was something in my stomach, literally. I told my mans, I was like, bro, I'm gonna leave it alone. But I was like, why, though? Why do I gotta fucking leave it alone? This shit is 100% innocent in my mind. Because like I said, at the end of the day, while they was together, I didn't say nothing to her. I didn't jump in her DM. I didn't say nothing to her. I didn't do anything. We never hung out. Nothing. I didn't even know her name. I didn't know her name.
I didn't know his.
I didn't even know her name.
It says Jersey.
I didn't even know her name until she gave me her phone number. Cause you know her Instagram name is her actual name, but 99% of the people in the world don't really use their real name as their Instagram name. So, granted, like I said, I didn't know nothing about her. I wasn't, So I'm like, in my mind, I kept going back and forth with it, I even read our conversations a couple times, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a chance and see how I go. And then, like I said, I invited her to go out with me, and
because at first we were supposed to go to brunch.
Yes. All right. So we were supposed to have a 2-man. It was supposed to be me and my other homeboy and her cousin. But the vibe between me and my homeboy was all over the place because that was a crazy year before me and her met. Anyway, we was doing I was in my whole phase. I was running and ripping and running. I was doing a whole lot of shit. Like I was dealing with this and that and this and this. Me and him was just doing a lot of shit. So I was kind of feeling some type of way because I've been putting him on all year and he ain't put me on with nothing all year. So I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna solo this one out. So I was like, boom, I text her. I was like, yeah, you know what? You want to go to Virginia with me? It's just gonna be me and you. She was like, all right. She drove up from Pennsylvania and she met me in PG. Boom, we drove. We went to the beach. It was a nice setting. We went to breakfast. We played a little bit of games at the breakfast. That kind of like opened me up a little bit. Where I could say like, okay, she cool. I really like her. I really like her. But this way it gets tricky. I never, ever, ever brought a female to my mother for her mother's approval at all in my whole life. Never. My mom only met one girlfriend that I had, and that was my child's mother. So, within the first 30 seconds of my mom meeting her, my mom said some shit, and that shit fucked my head up so much that I was like, fuck, I'm locked in now. My mom was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Like, I love your dreads. And I'm like, hold on, my mom mean as shit. So, how the fuck she do that? So I'm like, all right, cool. All right, my mom feeling her for a little bit. I was like, all right. Then my mom ended up chilling with us for the remainder of the day since then. And usually, some girls not going for that shit. Like, that's not happening on a normal basis. Like, some girls gonna be like, oh my God, this nigga brought his mother with us and all that. They gonna be complaining and shit. But some odd reason, her and my mom just built like instant chemistry instantly. We went to the beach. We went back to the beach actually. They ended up getting drinks on the beach. We ended up playing dominoes at the beach, Uno at the beach. I'm like, oh shit, all right. My mom ended up buying her a drink. My mom ended up buying her something to eat and all types of shit. So I was like, oh man, my mom been extra nice. So I'm like, shit. Hey, I get that. I get a text from everybody I was talking to. I was already doing that throughout the day anyway. Like, as everything progressed through the day and how I was feeling about Raven, nigga, I'm deleting girls. I'm texting them, hey, this not gonna work out. Don't text my phone no more. Leave me alone. I found someone. I'm just jumping to the gun with everybody. I'm just sending out texts all day. I thought I was gonna lose her though, because this one particular shorty, she ain't like that text message she received, and she was blowing my phone up. She was blowing my phone up the whole way back. Wasn't it back? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole way back. And I'm like, fuck. I had to turn my phone off, cause I'm like, I put my phone on airplane mode. I put my phone on airplane mode. I'm like, nah.
So at that moment, I mean, I wasn't tripping. We wasn't in a relationship. It wasn't like, and I already knew him making a drastic decision like that. Like, I don't know how long he was talking to these females. Like, so for him to make a drastic decision the way that he did, if it was me, I would want to know what's up too, because I'm like, we've been chilling, like vibes been good or whatever. Like, why are you just leaving me for a girl that you just met? And literally, that was our first date, so it was like
that was our first time,
yeah,
first date, first time hanging out,
yeah,
first time everything. I never said more than 5 words to her in person.
right.
So yeah,
for him to do all of that, it was like I said, I understood like where they was coming from, like. What is this or whatever, like he said, girl was blowing his phone up, and every time I seen it, I'm like, all right, like after the 4th one, I started to pick up the phone, like, all right, this not gonna work, like I don't know what else he gotta tell you, like, because it's, as a woman, like I said, we gotta understand and we have to like know exactly what it is that we did wrong. So I get that part, but I've never been a woman to blow up your phone, call you multiple times or whatever. You're not answering, you sending me the voice. I'm not about to do all that. Like, clearly I get the picture. Like, you said what you said. Like, obviously you're not going to give me my answer that I want. Or maybe later on down the line, you might give me the answer that I want or whatever. But I'm literally not about to be that girl. So she had to have called like over 100 times just in that car ride in general. Mind you, from PG County to Virginia, it's like a 3-4 hour ride?
Nah, it's like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's like a 3-4 hour ride. So that whole ride, like I said, unless he turned his phone off or did whatever, she was calling him. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so then I'm starting to think in my head, like, is he in a relationship with her? Like, what the fuck is going on? But he's telling me, like, he's really being, like, communicating with me, telling me what's going on or whatever. So it's not like I can kind of be, like, painting a picture on my own, because he's literally telling me, like, he's very transparent. So he's telling me what was going on or whatever. So it's at one point in time, like, our whole day, he was opening the door for me. He was, I wouldn't say he was being rude or anything, because he wasn't being rude or nothing like that, but he was opening the door for me. And it was at one point in time we had stopped at the rest stop or whatever, and we went to the bathroom. And he just left, like, on the phone, talking to this girl, and fucking left. Didn't open my door, didn't do nothing. I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna let it slide, I'm gonna let it go, whatever. So I get out the car, I go to the bathroom, I come back or whatever. So he's not on the phone anymore. So I had said to him, I'm like, I understand what you're going through. I said, but all day you've been opening my door, and then now you're not opening my door. I'm like, so that's a problem for me. Like, so he just was like, he didn't realize he didn't do it. So he kind of apologized for it and stuff or whatever. That was the only time out of that whole little situation for that contact thing that kind of pissed me off. Because I'm like, don't stop doing something because you got your mind distracted on something else. Like, and I've always been like that. So once we got back, it was like, all right, I'll see you later.
Yeah, it's like, I had a nice time with you, sorry, keep pushing, drive home safely. Like,
all right, I'll see you later, whatever. So I get in the car or whatever, and I'm on my way back home. I don't even think I called you. Yeah, I don't think I called you. I think I didn't even go back home. I ended up staying at my cousin's house. Because, did I have to go to work the next day?
Yeah, you had to go to work the next day.
Yeah, so I just ended up staying.
That was a one-day trip.
Yeah.
We went up Sunday, came back the same day.
Right. And I had, I knew I had to get up and go to work the next day. So I'm like, I'm not about to drive to Pennsylvania, and I can just stay at my cousin's house that live in Maryland and just go to work from Maryland or whatever. So that's what I did. And I had went home, but he had texted me, and he was like, asking if I got to my destination safely or whatever. And I was like, yeah, because, I mean, I don't know what, I mean, I could have, but I'm also one of those girls too, like, I'm not going to hit you first type or whatever. So I didn't text him when I had reached my destination, but he ended up texting me. And then at the same time, I thought he probably would have went to sleep because it was a long drive. Yeah, it was a long drive and it was late. So I also didn't want to, like, disturb him or nothing like that. I didn't want to text him and then alert and wake him up or anything. So I just didn't do it. So then, was it the next? No, I don't think it was the next day we seen each other. I think it was the
next day we seen each other.
I don't think it was the next day.
My off days was on Mondays.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that was a Sunday. That's the only reason why I actually really drove to Virginia, because I knew I ain't had to work the next day anyway. So when I woke up, I was like, my mom called me, cussing me out. She's like, "Oh, is your friend with you?" I'm like, "Nah, she drove home." "Oh my gosh, you let her drive home? You let her drive home by herself?" I'm like, I mean, she could have stayed with me. Shit, I said for real, I would have drove her home, but her car was at my house. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, "All right, I get it, okay." And then I just couldn't stop thinking about her throughout the day. So I asked her, I said, can I come to your location?
He was trying to do it to me on the first night.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to do it to her when she first got in my car on Sunday. If you want me to be honest, nigga, it would have been endless times that I would have pulled over and yeah, we would have got in the back seat of that car, because I don't know what it was. Like, when she came to me, when she met me, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. She was looking good as shit at 4 o'clock in the morning. You would have think she was tired or something. I'm talking about when we left for the trip, 4 o'clock in the morning, she came to my house.
6.
You came to my house. You got to my house.
It was probably like 5.
You got to my house. You got to my house at like 5 in the morning. But it was like you was already
late.
driving.
I mean, it was early. I mean, the sun was out when
Bro,
we
got
to
to
Virginia.
Virginia. We got to Virginia at 8:30.
Right, but
I drove fast as shit up there.
5 o'clock. It wasn't bright outside.
It's summertime. The sun come up early.
Yes.
The sun come
up
early.
It's like 5:30.
But it don't matter. All I know is when we went to that beach and she put that first bathing suit on, I was like, damn, ain't nobody at the beach. Man, I was trying all the cards, nigga. If we was playing spades, nigga, I thought I had a whole handful of spades, because I was throwing all the cards at her ass. But she kept shooting me down. So I'm like, but I wasn't trying to like really like have sex with her on the beach for real. But I was trying to show a little bit of affection, like trying to kiss on her here and there, Try to, she wasn't fucking with me at all. So I was like, all right.
Cause it was
I'm
still
like, all
one
right.
of those.
I'm like, all right, cool. So I left it alone, So I asked her, I was like, you hungry? And I took her to this. I feel like the restaurant was chill.
It was cool.
It was kind of chill. I mean, it really wasn't my cup of tea. I kind of asked her before when we first got in there. I was like, you fucking with the vibe or nah? She was like, it's all right. And that alone, like, kind of like made me fall for her too. It's like a lot of girls that I was with before Raven, like they fucking bougie asses was like I don't even know how to explain that shit in the right way. Like, just bougie as shit. Like, if I gave you an option, I know how to cook. So if I gave you an option, yo, I can cook you a meal or we can go to a restaurant. Every single shorty that I met before Raven, they wanted to go to a restaurant. I ain't want no home cooked meal. So for me to take her to a spot that I was nervous to take her to, because I probably felt like it probably wasn't
rich enough,
expensive enough, or fancy enough. It was on the beach, so your options is limited anyway. On the beach, you gonna get whatever they get with whatever you gonna get. We ain't going to Ruth Chris on the bush. Ain't no Ruth Chris's on the beaches. You know what I'm saying? So it was a chill little joint. We got some basic food. We ate it while we was waiting for our food. We played Uno. We played Connect 4. I was busting that ass. She couldn't do nothing with me. She couldn't do nothing with me, but
I let him.
It was fun though. It was to me, like, I ain't been on a lot of fun dates, and I feel like our first date, it was good for a first date. It was fun. We spent literally the whole day together. Got to know what we can get off within that time frame of that, them hours.
He was trying to bring me on my show. He was trying to see because he must have been used to some fast ass girls.
All my girls been fast before Raven. I'm sorry to say it. I get the ass in the first couple hours.
I was a fast ass girl because it was like literally him undressing me. Like the way he looks at me, I don't know if from how we're being recorded right now. Like, I don't know how he's been looking at me. So every time he looks at me, it's like he wants to devour me. So he's always, since day one, he's looked at me like that. So the fact that that day he gave me those looks, he had like these soft hands, so he kept touching me and stuff. So I'm just like, this nigga trying to fuck. Like,
nah.
So
I don't mind waiting.
Anyway.
If it's for the right person. But 99% of the time, shit. Girls be wanting me more than I want them, so they throw themselves at me. So I didn't know if you was on that type time or not. And I'm kind of glad that you wasn't on that type time, because if you was on that type time, we wouldn't be sitting here making this video right now, because I would have just put you in a category with the rest of them.
So, for all y'all that think that we've known each other for longer than whatever, no. We've only been together for 6 months. Like I said, we met eyes on the football field, but once our relationships were over, that's when we actually connected with each other. And like I said, that was because of me, I guess.
Yeah, it's because
following him on Instagram or whatever.
Raven don't follow me. I don't know her name to look her up. So it puts me in a situation where this don't happen. But I'm kind of glad that Raven hit me up. So the rest is history.
Yes, because a lot of people have literally been like, oh, y'all knew each other longer than that. No, it literally, how we just broke it down is how we met. And if I can describe it to anything, it definitely was a love at first sight. Like I said, regardless on how we kind of locked eyes with each other, I just think that we already knew who we were before we knew who we were. And it was like, even with the conversation, like I said, going back to the conversation when he was on the opposite team, like just that conversation, it flowed so effortlessly. Like,
actually, it was actually nice, because when she said something, she was like, oh, hey. She's like, oh, you on the wrong team. And I was like, I mean, that shit far as hell, for real. Like, I'm not about to drive all the way to Baltimore to play with them. And she was like, oh, I get it, you know. And then, boom, kept it pushing.
Yeah, it was more of, like I said, it was more of like, as if we, I don't know, it just felt like as if we already knew each other. Like, that's just how the feeling that I've had, even from our first date. Like, even though I kind of was like hesitant of doing a lot of things, it was still that feeling that was just like, damn, like, it might actually be him. But I didn't at first want to give it a try. I was just trying everything to push this shit away. Like,
let me tell you about it.
This shit ain't working.
This bitch probably
and then
everything like 8 times already since I know her. And she's mean as shit. She's been trying to break up with me since I've known her. Until I told her ass I want her to be my wife, and she started changing up. Like, okay, I'll be nice. But for a while, she been trying to push a nigga away, for real, for real.
Because it's one of those, it's too good to be true. So, of course, anybody that will feel that way is like, you get scared to getting hurt. Like, you just get scared to everything. But, like I said, to answer everybody's questions, it's only been 6 months. It has not been longer than that. It feels like it's been longer than that, but it has not been longer than that. A lot has happened in this time period. Yes, we are getting married. No, we are not disclosing our new marriage or wedding date. So, for all y'all nosy ass people out there, no, you will not know. Anyway,
we in our 7th month.
We're going into our 7th month.
In our 7th month now. That's a milestone.
The 28th will be.
That is an official milestone, because I usually only give them 2 weeks to get their shit together. And I was in a 13-year relationship. So anybody that I dated, they only had a 2-week span to convince me otherwise. And yeah, so you can call me a hoe all you want to. I don't care. I found my woman, and we locked in.
And that's it.
Have a nice day.
Bye.